If you watched our previous video about the Immaculate Conception of Mary, you already know how God uniquely and extraordinarily prepared the mother of the Savior from the very moment of her conception. Today we'll continue this journey of faith and knowledge, diving even deeper into Mary's story, but with a special focus, her genealogy and ancestors. Did you know that Mary descends from the lineage of King David, as prophesied in the Old Testament? Her genealogy is an essential part of God's divine plan for the salvation of humanity. In this video, we'll explore Mary's ancestors, the promise made by God through generations, and the revelations of Anne Catherine Emmerich that shed light on the history of her family. Let's dive into this extraordinary story. Mary's story begins long before her birth, with the promises made by God to the people of Israel. In the Old Testament, God revealed the plan of salvation through prophecies pointing to the coming of the Messiah. In Genesis 12:3, God said to Abraham, "In you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." This promise was renewed to Isaac, Jacob, and finally to David. In Isaiah 11:1 we read, "A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots, a branch will bear fruit." Jesse was David's father, and the lineage of King David was chosen by God to bring the Savior into the world. Mary, being born into this lineage, fulfilled these promises. Her son Jesus is the ultimate realization of the messianic prophecies. Anne Catherine Emmerich describes Mary's ancestors as humble and deeply faithful people. They were part of a tradition that preserved the hope of the coming Messiah. Mary's family descended directly from Jesse and David. But over the centuries, the royal descendants lost political power, living instead in modest and simple conditions. Joachim and Anne, Mary's parents, were righteous and devout, faithfully observing God's laws. According to Emmerich, God protected this lineage to ensure it remained pure, both spiritually and morally, preparing Mary to be conceived in a pious and holy household, ready for the Messiah's arrival. Mary's genealogy is not just a sequence of names or traditions. Every generation played a crucial role in the plan of salvation. Jesse, David's father, symbolized the root of messianic hope. David received the promise that his kingdom would be eternal, fulfilled in Jesus Christ. Joachim and Anne lived in silent hope, praying for salvation to come through their family. Emmerich describes that, even in times of oppression and captivity, this lineage was protected by God. Every ancestor carried the hope of the Messiah and passed on the faith from generation to generation. Mary's genealogy is proof that God never fails in his promises. Through generations, he carefully prepared the way for the coming of Jesus, choosing Mary as the perfect link between the Old and New Testaments. And you, what did you think of this story? Did you already know about Mary's ancestors and the spiritual context behind her lineage? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to follow more content like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.